So yeah, now so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install this this brake booster delete kit. So it's like a chase base kit, so it's got like their thing, but it's like used. So it's got a bent rod, some random lines, some other shit. I bought some fittings on the interwebs, and I got some random shit. So hopefully I have enough to put together, but if not, I have enough time before the event, hopefully, to order shit and have it come in and then be able to finish it. So that's the plan.
We make the streams louder.
So I got the master cylinder, I get the little lines that I got, they actually adapt to that. So I'm going to be kind of make this thing look really ugly and just not replace the lines. I'm just going to use these. What do you think? That's fine, huh? Maybe. I don't know. Factory lines, maybe? See if it all works. Yeah, it will work, but it ain't going to look pretty at all. Alright, so I think I got it, you know, pretty close to what... So I got the, you know, the brake master delete or whatever on there. Got a few random bolts in there that I had laying around that worked, and I went ahead and I replaced. I had a long line. You can see this braided line right there. It goes to the passenger side, and then you can see it goes into like a little T right there. So basically it comes straight off the master cylinder down to the T, straight to that first front right brake caliper. Then that goes right up here to the T on the back of this brake proportioning valve, and that goes over to the passenger side. And then there's an in and an out. This is the in and then this is the out, and that hooks up to the factory brake line for the rear. So yeah, that's I basically made it work 100% with stuff that I had laying around. You can see you get the little adapter right there. I actually wouldn't have, I think the only thing I would have had to buy was maybe one of these with the parts that I had laying around. I went ahead and I bought these because I thought I was going to adapt it to the factory brake line. So that's factory brake line, that's the 3AN. But yeah, so I took the passenger side off. You can see it goes down over here like that. It's not in the right spot, it's just kind of on there. But yeah, it's hooked up. So yeah, keep in mind this isn't, you know, this was a used kit that I basically got from somebody. It's, you know, in their random lines of, you know, stuff that they lost. And I think this actually was kind of the relocation kit where it, you know, relocates all the lines inside for kind of like a show car type of look, and they kind of made it work. I don't know. There's some missing lines, you know, especially, you know, you get on chase bays and there's the wrong stuff. But yeah, so this is, you know, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I mean, it definitely cleans up that area over there. I'd maybe like to rebend that rear line, or maybe get another braided line for it. But I mean, it's overall it's not too bad, especially for, you know, how cheap I got the thing. I think like that whole setup is like $500. I'm not sure, something like that, expensive. But I think I got it for like $100, and I got it for $100, and then I paid my buddy like $20 to pick it up for me. So $120 plus basically like $10 in little fittings and stuff, and I got me a brake booster delete. I drove one of my buddy's cars at the last event. He had this brake booster delete on his car, and it's Casey's. When I did that day in the life video, it's the M-Spec 2J VVTi, and he has a bunch of crazy shit. But anyhow, I drove that, and I really liked the way it felt. Left foot braking and drifting in boost. That's one of my biggest complaints with, you know, the factory brake booster on here is, I don't know, I tried 2 or 3 different like one-way check valves. I never bought a new one. Well, so I tried that, but whenever I was in boost, it would, you know, the pedal would just fight me. It would feel like shit, and I didn't like that at all. So I decided, you know, I'm gonna take the booster off. I say bye-bye, do this, clean up a little room in the bay, and I'll have super stiff brakes all the time. You know, they are really, really stiff. I mean, it seriously feels like you're pushing up against a wall with your foot. And I mean, it's if it was like a daily driver or something like that, I definitely wouldn't like it, because it would just you know, you'd have to push them way too hard. But in the drifting situation and the left foot braking situation, I think that's good. but yeah, I'm gonna have to bleed the shit out of these because there's gonna be so much damn air in the lines. But I'm gonna go ahead and put these back on. I was thinking about, I don't know, I'm just gonna put them back on. You know, that whole squeaking thing. I think whatever. I don't like the stock brakes. I might bleed them and see how they feel. But I think it's time for this. I think the e-brake's going on, Hydro e-brake. That son of a bitch is going on, you know, especially since we kind of revamped the calipers, you know, a long time ago, and I figured out that one of my calipers was kind of seized in there, and that was why I didn't like it, and I took it off. I had it on for, you know, like basically 3 days, driving it around here and just ripping the e-brake. It just, I mean, it would hurt my hand, you know. You had to pull it so damn hard to even get them to halfway lock, and even then you had to like give it kind of a flick. But yeah, I'm excited to finish this up. I feel like it's definitely been, you know, kind of a, you know, it's been, you know, cramping my style as far as drifting. You know, I haven't been able to or wanted to, you know, like drive super aggressive with people just because, you know, my e-brake's always been kind of, you know, second or, you know, just kind of like subpar. Sometimes it works great, and then I go to an event and then it kind of starts working like shit, and I'm just tired of having that inconsistency. So hopefully this works out. I'm super sad that I'm giving up my parking brake. I hate not having a parking brake, and, you know, letting your car sit there and roll, and, you know, having to turn the wheel, especially being on the trailer as well. I don't want to have it in gear, you know, mess up the tranny, you know, rocking back and forth. And but yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out some sort of like a latch system on there to where you could pull it back and then like hook it on something. Maybe I'll put like a little piece of wire or not, something. I'm gonna do something because I definitely don't like it. Jesse, you excited to bleed your ass off? Yeah, oh, actually, I need to get in there and put the pin.
Hey, where's your electric tape, bud?
Pin? Yeah. It's so hot out real quick. I gotta throw the pin in that little.
That's like thinner than this?
Thinner? Yeah. It's in the bottom drawer of that thing. So I got the big brakes installed on the front. I got the master cylinder all hooked up, and yeah, now we're gonna bleed it. Probably can't even hear me, but anyhow, we're going on the first little test drive. The first few pulls of it, it doesn't feel like it's really working. This is the issue that I had with it before, is that basically you had to pull it so damn hard that it hurt your hand, and that's kind of what it's doing now. I'm pulling that son of a bitch so damn hard, it's not even doing anything. Well, that's kind of irritating. Basically, like the same exact thing that happened last time I had this Hydro e-brake in here, which is that you just yank it so damn hard that it hurts your hand and it doesn't lock the e-brake. So that's basically the same issue that it's doing now. I'm not sure if it's because I have, you know, that whole, you know, bunch of braided line basically the whole way back, or if the master cylinder size isn't right, or if the calipers are just dicked, or if it's because this weird ass banjo bolt shit in the back. I'm not sure. Anyhow, it pisses me off, and you know, like I said, this is pretty much the reason I had this Hydro e-brake on it for a long time, or not a long time, a long time ago, and took it off for the same issue and just went back to the cable e-brake, and it was okay for a while, and then now it's starting to act all sketchy. So yeah, I was just like, you know, maybe I'll give it another chance. We took the calipers apart, I don't know, a couple months ago, and looked at them, and one of the calipers was kind of seized. So So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that was the issue. So, went ahead and threw them back on tonight, and same issues. I really do like the brake master cylinder, or the brake booster delete. It's definitely sketchy at first to get used to. I mean, you have to push the pedal down really, really hard in order to get basically the same braking effort, but it's consistent, which is what I really liked, versus the, if you guys in that little video, the head cam thing, when I was brake boosting, like basically doing a burnout, it doesn't fight you, it doesn't push the pedal back, it's just consistent the whole way through, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm happy about that. I'm kind of upset about the other, the Ebrake thing. I'm not sure if it's the calipers, if it's, the pads, if it's the Ebrake, like the master cylinder sizing versus the, maybe the lines, when they flex. I know in the back when you pull an Ebrake, when I was up underneath there and we were bleeding it and pumping it, basically the line would kind of like, it would like twist, so you could tell there's pressure in it. But I'm not sure. I don't know if I need to like hard line it and then only do a little bit of braided lines back here, or if, I don't know what to do. Well, bummed about the stupid Hydro Ebrake. The only place it'll like lock up is pretty much in here. I don't know, it feels like there's a balloon in there, like in the line somewhere. I've bled the shit out of it, basically ran through, only used a little bit of that to bleed all the brakes, for the Willwood, brake master delete. So that works really good. And basically, locks up the front brakes and everything just fine. But the Hydro doesn't seem like it wants to do that. I mean, it just, when you're pulling her back, it just doesn't feel like that. I mean, it feels like it should be locking it up, but it's not. Like you gotta like pull it down like all the way with one hand and then push it with the other one to get it to work. But so yeah, I might have already said that in the video, but I tried bleeding it again and again and again. Had somebody else come over and we bled it again, and basically we it has this braided line, that goes all the way back to a little T bulkhead thing and then splits to some more braided line. So it's all braided line. It seems like a lot of people use hard lines on their e-brakes. So I'm kind of assuming that maybe it's just too much line, too much braided line in there, and it's just, absorbing too much of the, the shit. It's turning into a balloon. But we tapped the line basically the whole way back while we were bleeding it, tapping it and pulling it, and, and then tapping the calipers with a little ball peen hammer, that's still right there. And still couldn't get it to, to bleed properly or do whatever it's doing. I don't know if the calipers are shit, or if it's, the master cylinder on there is like a different, I don't know. It shouldn't be that. That's brand new. And I swapped it for another master cylinder already when it wasn't working the first time. So it's either the lines are bubbling up or the calipers are just shit. And I really wish I could just use like a set of stock, like 240 calipers to do this, because that's actually what I tried to do a long time ago. If you guys ever watched my, my Hydro Ebrake thing, I don't know, it's been over a year. But I attempted to use a set of stock calipers. And basically what I did is I cut off the little Ebrake guy, and then I welded like onto the caliper, and then, because it was like, there's like where the like pushes like a piston in there for the, to actuate with the lever with the Ebrake to get it to work. But so anyhow, that didn't work. So I mean, it could have been the lines then too. It could be the same exact issue that I'm having right now. It could be the lines. So that's the next step. I went through and I ordered the lines off of Speedway. There's like a 36-inch line, a 48-inch line. I think the rears are two 38-inch lines, 36-inch lines, and then there's a 48-inch, and then I think like a 24-inch line that I had to get because it got too. There's a little 3N to 3N straight right there, but yeah, it wasn't long enough initially. But so I went and I made sure that the lines were actually brake lines. So I went back through my email and the order confirmation and everything, and they are like Teflon lined, stainless like brake lines. So I don't know what I did wrong. or if it just it's got to be the lines. It has to be. So that's going to be the next step. Either that, or I'm putting the cable e-brake back on it, and I don't really want to do that because I mean look how nice that hydro looks in there. I mean it just like completes the drift car, and then you look out back and it's got 2 calipers, and that's dope. And I put the big brakes up front again, so now it doesn't look like a, you know, I don't even know what it looked like. It looked like a mountain bike or some shit like that. But yeah, so next step is that. So we got spilling some brake fluid like always, but got the old lines out, got the old the braided stuff, and then the actual e-brake lines. We we sacrificed another S13 thing so that we could use that for the line. David's in here kind of bending the line a little bit. Got this big dope like Matco bender, but it's too big, so now we're just using this little guy to try to kind of get her halfway lined up. But yeah, so that's got a little 3AN deal on it. And then we're gonna kind of go up and over and then around and then tee it off, and then hopefully it'll work. All right, so it's back on the ground. We basically ran the line up underneath the car, up over the diff, because having the diff and the drive shaft and everything in there, we kind of bent it all ghetto over it, and then kind of stuffed it through this old bulkhead hole, and then drilled another hole, flipped it around. So that's kind of, that's not the best setup in the world. That's a really, really tight little radius bend right there, but it doesn't seem like it's leaking or anything. So we got all the lines and everything in here, or the line going down into that guy. So yeah, now it's time to go for a rip and see if it actually works. I'm not pulling myself forward. Well, basically another failed attempt at this whole hydro game. I'm really not sure what to think about it. I'm not sure if it's like the caliper size, or not the caliper size, the master cylinder size. Maybe the master cylinder is like too big, because this is a low volume situation. I mean, it's a low volume, high pressure is what you need. And I feel like the master cylinder, I believe, is a 3/4, and that's kind of a bigger master cylinder. So it's basically like, taking something really, really big. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just a huge surface area that you have to pressurize with the actual hydro in order for it to actually compress it in this tiny little line where you don't really need a lot of volume. And I feel like it moves a lot of volume, but it doesn't have that really high pressure. So I felt like if it had a lot smaller master cylinder on it, it would feel a lot better, because you'd actually be able to lock it. Because I could get them to lock up, but I mean, I'm literally I'm in there here. I'll sit in there and show you. But it's just one of them things. Like I'm pulling this thing so damn hard back that my hands, hurt. You know what I mean? I'm a mechanic. I work on all kinds of shit all the time. My hands aren't too big of vaginas. But yeah. So it's especially in a drifting situation, you don't want to have to be like strong arming that thing, trying to get it to lock up, if you're right next to somebody. I drove my buddy's car, and I mean, literally, you just grab it and you're like, boop, it felt effortless. I don't know why this one's fighting me. I don't know if it's the calipers. I don't know if it's the lines. I don't know if there's it doesn't feel like there's a bubble in there. It feels a lot better now with the actual lines, and it is improved over the other ones. But I mean, we've bled the absolute shit out of it trying to get it to to do something, but it just won't. So yeah, hopefully I'll get it figured out. I mean, I'm not you know, giving up on it right away. But I mean, there's this little little 6th competition type of thing that was going on here in like 2 days, and I was gonna be able to drive in that for like free, and you know, anyhow, so probably won't do that because on account of this, unless I put my damn, you know, regular hydro e-brake shit back on it, but or not the hydro, the cable e-brake. I mean, I at least kind of could get that to work, but I don't know, it's definitely irritating. And I went out and I tried to bed them in too, you know, basically stopping the car and, you know, 100% with the brakes. I mean, maybe I need to just let them cool down, but yeah, they feel like shit. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I wish I would have had some good news for this whole, you know, this whole brake adventure. I really do like the Willwood, you know, the brake booster delete. It really feels good, you know, like just like brake boosting, or, you know, like left foot braking, like in boost. So I really like that. It's definitely crazy to get used to, like just pulling the car in and out of here. You know, because the first thing like you want to do is you touch the brakes and it instantly stops, whereas now you actually have to push them. You know, so the low speed stuff is weird. High speed stuff, it kind of feels about the same because I was having to fight them anyhow. But yeah, so hopefully that'll kind of get it. Hopefully I'll figure it out. If I could find another master or something. I need to do something because it's irritating. But yeah, thanks again for watching. And if you got any recommendations, let me know. But I'm gonna try to get it figured out soon.